Good morning, traders. Welcome back. Of course, we'll take a look at the leaderboard. Who ruled the pool? None other than somebody that will be joining me on Thursday. Super excited to hear from the leader, of course, of the Rule the Pool competition. Now it's time to get back to our original trading action. I hope you guys are joining us and joined us over from the Rule the Pool competition. Let's get after it, traders. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. We'll get through our watch list, take a look at what stocks are moving this morning. And one that was mentioned yesterday, Clean Spark. Woo, that thing is charging up and moving. We'll take a look at that action and, of course, talk a little bit about my swing trades. Let's get after it, team. It's Trade the Pool. Welcome back, traders. Let's get after it. Of course, it's another beautiful day. Let's take a look at the trading action in the market. But first, we'll take a look at the leaderboard. And wow. That's all I got to say. Let's take a look here. First place prize is going to my man, Peter G. Shout out to you from the United States, $120,000 and 863. Yeah, that 863, you can send it over to me. I won't be mad at you. But holy moly, man, $108,000 in just 1 week. So really a big shout out to you. It just goes to show you that, yes, there is somebody out there probably making Lamborghini money. It might not be me. That's the truth. I'll be working to get there, guys. I didn't do that bad. I ended up down here, guys, in the 8,000 spot. Money Mitch in 47th place, at least the top 50. I was able to make the top 50 and be consistent. Do it live in front of you guys. I'm going to continue doing that right here. So this is what it's all about, team. If you guys want to stick around with a trader that really shows you guys processed approach, right? Shows you guys how to get to success, stick around because there's a lot more action that we'll be talking about. We'll be talking to Peter G on Thursdays, so stick around. That's going to be an amazing time to find out how he went after that CNSP trade. And of course, what are some strategies that he uses to make these big returns, right? That's what we're all trying to find out. And of course, Andy Cuevas from the DR, Dominican Republic. Got to give him a good shout out. Great trade. MBIO, $86,000. Came back on the day, made himself all the way up there to the second place. So shout out to Andy Cuevas. Hey, great trade, and reach out to me, man. If you want to come on, it'd be great to have you on. Of course, there's nothing better than seeing different traders make it here and how they made it. Zap trade, and you can see even a trader that made a $108,000 trade, Miguel Garcia, went down to the 41,000. So he was up there, but still took a couple of hits. But with a winning percentage of 26%, still able to be in the top 5. So shout out to you, Miguel. A great job. And everybody that was in the competition, shout out to you guys, because the truth is these competitions aren't easy. I can tell you guys, I've been in multiple competitions. It's not easy. You got to battle to try to get to success. But definitely not a bad job at all, guys. Smash the like if you guys enjoying the action. Let's keep going. Let's get back into the show. Let's see what stocks are moving today. Of course, we'll talk a little bit more about the competition. And don't forget, traders, this is what it's all about, is setting up your evals, right? For right now, right? What are you guys getting after today? That's what I want to find out. Who has a day trading eval? Who has a swing trading eval out there? Let me know, team, because we are getting after it today, guys. I do have XRT on a swing trade. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up, but definitely smash the like, team. Let's get after it. And of course, let's bring up our trade ideas. We'll be looking at some layouts here. We'll take a look at what stocks are gapping this morning and where the unusual volume is. XPOF, we'll talk a little bit about that and why that stock could be moving. Stick around, team. We got a lot to talk about here. XRT actually making a down move here, guys, off of the retail number. I thought we'd maybe get a gap up. And so we'll find out, guys. I'm in XRT, as a matter of fact, from yesterday. And this actually made a big move yesterday. So we'll see what happens on this one today. If I'm able to hang on to XRT swing trade, will it make its way back up here towards the 78, or will it come cracking through the 75s? We'll see what happens today, team. XRT and retail numbers coming in. You guys can see it here. Let me go ahead and take a look at those retail numbers, see exactly what we got here, and let you guys know a little bit more on exactly what those numbers were. So this morning at 8:30, we got none other than May's retail action here. So let's take a look here, pulling it up. Got to use Benzinga Pro for this, of course. SPY, what do we see here? All right, so there you go. We got core retail sales coming in here at 0.1 versus a 0.3 estimate. That's coming from Benzinga, of course. So a little bit light versus the estimate. That's, of course, causing the downturn. We'll see how that continues to work. But there's other news out there, team. We'll talk a little bit about our playbook, of course, as we keep talking about different stocks that we can be looking at this morning. Let's take a look at this morning's top playbook of the day. Is going to be on Palantir. Palantir has been one that we've been talking about right here on this show multiple times. I've actually been watching this, created this on May 29th. We're in June 18th, team. We were looking for this move for a while. We started seeing this first pop. Now I was looking at the pullback to the 9 EMA, that light blue line that you're seeing here. And look how that's really starting to take off. Now going up there towards the 25. Yesterday, really getting hot in Palantir. Now we're getting up towards resistance. Resistance is going to maybe play in. We're really close to that towards the 25.50 area. I see resistance, but big move here in Palantir. Watch out, team. We'll see if this can continue to run. All right, guys, let's keep going. What other ones are making the mentions out there? If you guys got a stock you guys are seeing making a big move, keep throwing it up, team. We'll take a look at it. Clean Spark is another one, of course. Yesterday, we were looking at this one getting hot, team. And boy, oh boy, did I didn't play this the best way yesterday, guys. I actually got stopped out on the pullback. And this was a lot of the break even kind of stop out, was just not paying attention to it. Wanted to get back in it on this dip. And look at that rip that I missed, guys. A 208 rip. So, hey, 12% higher. Now I'm looking for dips to the 18 area. So come back to the trend line. The trend line's in this area down here towards the 1820s and 1780s. That's what I'll be looking for on Clean Spark, for it to get into that spot towards 18 and then come back up, back through towards eventually maybe even the 20s. But this is going to put different miners in play today. Guys, take a look at Mara. Mara, definitely one that I'll be watching today to make a move back above 20 towards 2075. One of my top plays of the morning to watch. And if you wanted, you could watch Coin, you could watch MSTR. There's so many names, right? You can go to Hut, you can go to Hive. There's so many names out there, guys. BitF, right? Bitfarms. There's so many of these names that you guys can watch. The crypto miners are really starting to prop. All right, we'll see what happens out there. Let's take a look at some other action. XRT, of course, we talked about that, but Best Buy is one that I'll be watching. Has been hot lately, really starting to get strong. And this one could be a nice move into AI help, right? There's so many different products that have come out with AI and features that are coming out in products. So I think that that's what you're starting to see here, is a little bit of some upside outlook, because of course, a lot of the products that are AI focused are going to be in Best Buy. I think you're starting to see that follow, and maybe that could actually bring some follow through. So we'll see what happens there in Best Buy. Ulta's another one that I have on the swing trade outlook, maybe starting to see this get back above 400. It's been going sideways. We'll see when this actually makes a move. Let's keep going, team. Let's go to our sunrise report. Of course, a lot of talk about rebalancing today, as XLK talks about how Microsoft would be the leading kind of weight in this, of course, ETF. XLK, of course, is updated on market cap values. So Apple would actually be decreasing here, and NVIDIA would also be increasing in the weight of the XLK. with Microsoft leading the way. Look at the XLK go as technology continues to rip higher. Qs are pushing towards a all-time kind of historic RSI. RSI does not get this high, but I think there's still room for this to run some more, guys. So if you guys see here, the extremes for me are actually towards 93. We'll see what happens today. There's still room. Can you believe it, guys, for the run to happen? And chasing actually has been working. That's the crazy part. Fisker this morning, FSR getting hit hard. Fisker, FSR. Where is Fisker? It disappeared off my charts. I can't even pull it up. That's not important because it's on bankruptcy. So don't worry about it, team. Definitely Fisker going bye-bye. That was a surprise there for me. I actually like the Ocean SUV, but looks like that's not going to be around. Chegg here trying to hold the $3 after they surged on 20% after they did some layoffs here. About 23% cut of the head count is giving them at least like a 20% push here. So not doing too bad. They're trying to achieve 30% EBITDA margins. They're trying to change things back around on Chegg, but the truth is that this company has been on a really bad downturn after the pandemic and could be disappearing, right? I mean, it's at $3, nothing that excites me in Chegg. All right, Lennar also reporting here, despite better than expected Q2 earnings, $3.45 per share and $8.77 billion on revenue, not really getting the love this morning. So we'll see what happens on Lennar. I have been keeping an eye on these kind of home builders. Toll Brothers is another one that we can kind of keep a watch on. And of course, if you guys want to take a trade on these, you can also take a look at the U.S. Construction Index. That's ITB. ITB is going to give you that ability to make a look for the move. And I think this is setting up here, guys. I really want to continue to watch some real estate as it looks like we could make a push here towards the 109 and 110 on the ITB. So keep your eyes open for some of these home plays. And the last one on the radar there, let's do Mickey D's. Mickey D's taking down their AI drive-through test with IBM at over 100 locations. Looks like their AI didn't do that great, or at least didn't get the response they were looking for to keep it in the stores, as McDonald's does the McDonald's M here and now starting to break down. 250, big level to watch in McDonald's. If that goes, well, investors might need to go in this one. So definitely McDonald's has been such a great stock since 2020, just been kind of climbing steadily, but now really starting to fall off the tape. We'll see what happens there in McDonald's. Of course, there's some more trades out there. We'll talk a little bit about the smaller cap names coming up, guys. So smash it up out there. Let me catch some comments in the chat. How we doing out there? Yeah, FSR is on the OTC. I couldn't even pull it up, Noli. So that's interesting there. HPE, I know that you've been watching on that one, Noli. So not a bad one to mention. That's been really hot, 2190s, and continuing the steady climb. And look at the light blue line. It's not even pulling back to the 9 EMA. So you can see the momentum in HPE. That's for sure. All right, how we doing out there? How about them Celtics? Go green team. Well, Bullseye, I will give the Celtics their roses a little bit, but I will mention that was maybe the easiest path to the NBA championship that any NBA champion has had, but I give it to them. They built a great team. So I'm a Miami Heat fan, just to mention. I know. We're going to have battles out there, Bullseye, about the Celtics and the Heat. But the truth is, shout out to them, NBA champions. The question is, are you going to be a champion today, guys? Let's get after it. All right, who else is in the chat? Say hello, man. It's always good to see you guys. MB, got it. Hey, get after it. Well, so at the moment, I guess I'm safe in the top 50. Hey, top 50 is a hell of a good job, man. To tell you the truth, top 50, you got to be happy. In the green, you got to be happy for the competition. All right, let's keep going. No one else could beat the Celtics. Yep, that is definitely true. No one could beat them this year. So, hey, that's how it goes. Let's take a look at the gappers list and find out what's moving here. Let me lower it down in here so you guys don't lose too much of it. I'll just bring the charts up here. Let's go ahead. Let's pull this up, pull the RSI down. Boom. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look using our trade ideas. Some of the top gappers this morning, of course, ASNS, the top move of the day already at 260 here, guys. And in the morning, this was kind of moving all around. Did do a crazy spike to like 330s. You can see it kind of holding in the trend line right now. So this is something that kind of keep watch. It's cracked it once, big time. We'll see if it cracks it again towards the 250. This is ASNS. And of course, yesterday's mover, MBIO, and that continued to run yesterday, going up there to 96 cents from about 33 cents. So definitely a penny stock that's above the $1. One thing that I will mention, though, is be careful with these ones that get just above $1. They have a tendency of not lasting too much longer than that, right? So I'll look for a move back towards this 119 to fail. And you can see it in the pre-market. We went to that level and did fail that 119. Let's keep watching this towards the open, because this could actually be a potential short on day 2 or day 3 style move. We'll see what happens on MBIO. All right, you're currently short on ASNS. It won't hold. It won't hold at the open. Hey, I'll take what you can. 9th place. Shout out to you, man. Hey, if you got 9th place, really, hey, you beat me. That's for sure. Got to give you a shout out. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at what else is trading. Of course, you guys can be trading and getting your own things, like always, guys. Who has their accounts? Who's getting after it today? I know I'm ready to get after it and take a look at what we can find today. I'm going to be taking some trades for sure and trying to take some bigger trades. We'll just find out what happens today as we keep battling. I'll be using my day trading eval and just getting after it. Of course, we'll still take some swing trades too. So keep an eye out. I'll let you guys know about my swing trades and see where we can make some money. Silk is another one here on the scanners, and that's up there towards 26.72. We'll look to see if this continues to run. I like Silk Road Medical. We all know the Silk Road, right? Well, there you guys see it. This is making a nice little run there. Volume already in the 3 millions. Not really moving too much, right? It's going sideways up here at the top. So we'll see what happens on this one. We talked about some of the ones on the downside, but this one was moving yesterday. TRNR, it was all the way up there to $8 and then just came all the way back down to $5. This is why this one was a little bit concerning to me when it kind of popped. It was a really short-lived pop, even kind of halted on the upside and then just flushed right back down. It's back down to the 375s. I don't expect too much from this. It was a split that got really just hit back down and could go even lower, right? It could go right back down to 1. We'll find out. Zap has been on the pullback. We'll see if this ever gets moving again. Of course, yesterday's big move that we were talking about before the bell, Tesla. Will Tesla make the move above 180? Well, boy, did it do it yesterday. It went through that 180, pulled back right here off of that 180.60, made it all the way up there towards 188.60. Now 190 in reach today. At least that's the way I see it. And we drew this up right here for the pullback and extension towards the upside. Now, I think this is really making moves. And look at the volume that came in on the last couple of days. That tells me Tesla could be gearing up for a bigger move back to the trend line. And if we take a look here, where's the trend line approach? Well, the trend line approach could be a move all the way back here. It's going towards the 220s, 230s. So I do want to keep this one in play. Tesla on the radar for sure for a move back up to a long-term trend line. And I see that inverse head and shoulders. I've talked about it multiple times. Now it's time to get it above the neckline. The neckline is right here where we're at right now. So you can see how that's going to be a little bit of a struggle today. But we could get through it, and that's that big close above 190. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat. Keep throwing up those stocks. I'll be watching different stocks that you guys are looking at. So that's what it's all about, guys. Definitely smash the like. All right, what other ones are being mentioned out there? My watch list, going to upgrade before the bell. Okay, HPE, Zim, KR, Carvana. Carvana. Well, how's that one doing? I haven't seen that one in a little bit. Let's take a look. Daily chart is holding in the gap, and that's an important level. When you try to break down into a gap and you can't even get there, Well, that shows you that the bulls are just buying up on the support. This could make a move back towards a trend line and then start approaching towards the 115 and 120s. Not a bad one to watch here. I kind of like it. And even though I really am not the biggest fan of Carvana, the setup's there. Reach Trades got his eyes on Micron technology with a big push. And man, all these semiconductors look like this, like a straight SpaceX rocket. So we'll see what happens on these. They're really ripping through the moon, and it's just hard to play for me. But hey, I can continue to see that the momentum is strong there. What's the historical RSI? Because I'll look for that to see when we can maybe get a turnaround in Micron. And that's going to be a move with RSI going towards 90. Right now, it's not the time. Qualcomm, another one that's been pushing in semiconductors. TSM, look at that move, man. 180 and really starting to rocket. Is there any of these that haven't gone? It seems like AMD is the only one that doesn't look like a rocket. And that is surprising to me because I thought AMD would join NVIDIA at some point and make that type of move. We haven't really seen that. AMAT is another one to kind of keep a watch that has been ripping as of late and really kind of getting that move. Of course, this came with the ASML and AVGO type of move, right? And so Broadcom really taking off now up there towards 18.58. The split is coming soon, so keep looking for more mentions of splits that continue stocks lifting. SMCI is another one that also I'd keep an eye out that this could take off now. It's getting going, got the juices motoring, and one of the things is this one did a little bit of a fake out to the downside right here, where it was trying to break 760s, then got really going, juiced up again on Monday. So now I'd be looking for takeoff on this. I wouldn't even want it to pull back much this morning. So I'll be watching this, guys. Can it hold the 880 and just push through the 920s? 920s, definitely an alert there for SMCI. If it starts to push a little higher than that, this can be a big mover. SMCI needs that mention. They need to do that stock split, right? More dilution. We'll see what happens. AMD, the struggling brothers. Yeah, it's definitely struggling. We'll see what happens out there, team. TRNR was the best trade on the long side yesterday. Yeah, I know you were all on it early. So shout out to you, Bullseye. If you told me you made a nice gain yesterday. It's good to see it, man. I'm always going to be happy when you guys making gains. And like always, keep battling. It's not one way, right? All right, guys, let's take a look at GameStop after yesterday's disaster of a meeting, right? It didn't do much yesterday. It just came down towards the end of the day. We'll look to see if this breaks down, right? Because there's a big level right now to watch right underneath it, the daily support, 24. And we all know that, of course, Roaring Kitty has options at 21. So that's really important because I think he still has some that he can exercise there or kind of hold on or roll. So 21 is in play. I think 21, you're going to get maybe a down move towards that. But today could also be one of those shakes where it didn't move yesterday and all of a sudden right out the gates, it starts getting hot. GameStop is going to be flowing with momentum and flowing out of momentum. And that could even be inside the intraday. So be careful out there, traders. Like always, this isn't a competition account anymore. I'm going to be focused, making sure that I'm going after high quality plays and not just going for a big swing on the fences. All right, guys, let's keep it going, team. We'll see what else is making moves in the market. There's still so much more to take a look at in this market. So if you guys have a stock that you're looking at this morning, throw it up, guys. It's about to be 9 a.m. where we switch into gears and get more into the trading action. All right, let's see what else is going on in the chat and what you guys are trading. I'm going to start taking a look at some different stocks because there's some opportunities out there. XRT is definitely on my radar. I'm keeping a close eye on it right now. It's moving all around, so something definitely to keep a watch. Let's go ahead and use maybe our trade ideas to see what else is making a move here. Unusual volume channel, of course, that XPOF. Why is XPOF moving? Exponential Fitness. XPOF got to live after a new CEO, appointing Mark King as that CEO. And it definitely got a nice little push yesterday. It was up there towards the $16. We'll see if this can actually move out of the resistance zone. Resistance is right above it here, guys. So I can see it maybe taking a shot towards 1650s. It's at 1586 today. Don't get me wrong, it could be an inside candle type of day where you're just going to stay between the 14 and the 1550 area and then make that next step up. So we'll see what happens there on XPOF. KAVL was a 1 penny stock that was a big mover on Friday. Didn't move much on Monday. Will this get moving again? It's on the radar, guys. We definitely need to keep it on the radar. If it's not going anywhere and going sideways on the hourly, that tells me that there could be buyers trying to step up and get this to go right back up to 6 and 8. We'll find out, team. Definitely one to watch. XRT now starting to at least separate on the spread wise. Look at the spread on that thing now. I'm not touching this right now on the ad, but definitely swing trades on, guys. Pfizer facing a lawsuit that was put out yesterday on the COVID vaccine. So this could actually hurt some healthcare names. XLV, let's take a look here. Healthcare has been hanging on and looking for a breakout. We'll find out if we get that breakout. Definitely going to pay attention to different areas there. Drug manufacturers, the major boys are the ones to watch, right? Lilly is continuing to just push and push. It's up there almost to 900, but has been on a nice breakout. What's another one that's been there? NVAX has been really hot, but has pulled back. Can this get hot again? We'll see if we could really get a nice little push back up on this one. Maybe it could squeeze a little bit more back up through that 15. For right now, it's just been on the pullback. All right, catching up in the chat. I see some other names being thrown up. We got DraftKings in the chat here. DraftKings is looking interesting as it gets back there and filled the gap here, guys. Look at that filling of the gap here. We was looking to see if it could go back to that 40. Well, it did. It filled that gap really nice right back up here above the 40s. Now I'd look for pullbacks into that spot to hold. That'd be the $40 pullback today. So I'll be looking for pullbacks, but I can't blame you if you're looking for a breakout here. It did get going. Now the next step is towards like the 44s and 45s. DraftKings definitely holding in there. And man, I remember when DraftKings was down there close to $10, $12. Hey, it's actually held the lift pretty well there. Penn is another one that I saw a lot of volume recently get in, but it hasn't really made a run. Maybe now be the time. We'll find out. Keep your eyes on that, and that's Penn. All right, let's take a look here. Dell is still on the watch. Dell has been strong and has pulled back and has a gap zone that it can go for, right? This is a big gap that it can try to close. Let's see if it starts to close that. That's a big move. That's a move back to 170. So something that I'll definitely keep on watch. AVPT, AvePoint. It's interesting to see this company starting to make a move back. I actually have interviewed the CEO multiple times, so I'm going to have to reach out to the CEO, see if we can get him on. But look at the trend line break above the 975. This one could move. It's a X-SPAC that really kind of gets going when it does. So we'll see what happens. 950s for pullback seemed like a good level to watch for me. We'll see what happens on AvePoint. Is risking 3 to 5% per trade out of the 900 too much for the mini account? Well, Bullseye, I can't tell you exactly what to do, right? Unfortunately, I can't tell you if that's too much or not, but I can just tell you what I would be looking at, right? So you're talking about $900 and risking 3 to 5% per trade. That's not too bad. I mean, you're not risking too much there. The key is just do the calculations, right? I can try to calculate it really quickly. Let's say 0.03% out of the 900. You're looking at what? $27. Okay, so that's at the 3%, and at 5%, you're looking at what? 45. And so that's what you got to find. What's your sweet spot, right? How much do you want to risk on each trade? This is so important. I talk about this all the time, and I talk about it with more of the approach of what? Well, I talk a little bit about what the profile of, right? Profit to loss, 3 to 1, right? That's what I always like. It's what's worked for me, because if I look at my statistics, on average, I'm going to be about maybe 30 to 40%, maybe 50% accurate. A lot of times I'm not 80, 90% accurate. And it's all about that, right? What's your risk to return and how you want to go about it? Do you want to go for a smaller risk? That could also be the trade. But realize if you go for that smaller trade, that's okay too. The only thing is you might need to do more trades. And so is the success better for you to do more trades or less? For me, I try to cut down on some of the trades and focus on that 3-to-1, but it's really all about your personality. So get after it, Bullseye. I wish you the best, man. All right, let's keep going. With a 900 max lost, it's very important, right? So just try to find what is the best balance there for you. So the key is, of course, not blowing up. At first, when you open an eval, for me, I just try to just slowly start getting it into the green. Give myself a cushion so I can feel confident about my abilities and just relax. Because the first couple of days on an eval account, you can definitely get to a point where you're just stressing so much about one loss. All you need to do is start getting into the green and giving yourself a little bit of a cushion every single day. That's the best way that I've seen. Even learn from the competition and what you did there. All right, let's keep going, team. We'll see what else is out there. Reese, what's up out there, man? What you got? Boogie Woogie in the house, guys. You lose 4 times at 200 and you're toast. Yeah. You know what I mean? What the key is, try to find how many trades you'd be okay with, right? On average, how long does it take to get that equity curve to bend, right? So a lot of times that's going to take traders a little bit at the start. The start is so much pressure. So for me, I usually like to size down, focus on getting a nice couple of green days in my belt, and then understanding, okay, now I'm through the first wave. Let's go ahead and focus on my trading here and maybe step up, double the risk, double the reward, and then really kind of work that up higher slowly as I start to really start getting used to the platform and getting used to the survival of the account first. And then we go to profits, and then I go to thriving. So small profits, then to the thriving stage, I think is so important. So at first, I'm not thinking about winning the eval. I'm just thinking about being consistently profitable. That's what I like to focus on. All right, let's see what else is out there, guys. It's 9:07. What's up out there? Tiny T in the house. Yeah, sound a lot better today. Hey, that's good to hear, man. Sorry about yesterday. There was maybe a little bit of some audio issues. That's how it goes. Your focus should be focusing on a good entry and taking a loss rather quickly. If you can nail entries, then have bigger positions are okay. 100%. I agree. But the hardest thing, I think, at least on trading, is timing. And so what I like to do is not go big in one order. I like to size into a trade. But that's up to you. If you feel like you're really good on entries and your timing, then you can go bigger and looking for that bigger, quick trade, right? It's all depending on your personality, but it's not a bad mention that you mentioned here. What's going on in a firm? Time for them going up. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at a firm. Let's go back to the stocks here. All right, so a firm is one that I took a shot yesterday. I lost on this one, but looking for this to come back, right? This one really could have maybe made at least close to me winning the account. It still went up there a pretty good amount, so I would have probably made like $8,000 if I stuck around on this trade. I did get out on this one towards the 29.80s, but I mean, at the end of the day, this one's looking great this morning. I really want to play this one for the pullback off the 31. So it's a throwback look, filling the gap and holding this gap. So yesterday's close was 30.98. I'd look for that to kind of hold today. Maybe a slight dip at the open, but I'm going to look for a nice push on the firm. It's one of my top plays this today. We'll see what happens. Of course, the mention with Apple got them going. It's pulled back. Now we just need buyers to come in, right? We need some good buying to come in on the daily, and the volume. Look at the volume. It's been a nice little pullback after that recent expansion. Let's see if we can get an expansion of volume today as it starts to break out towards the 33. So definitely top watch for me is on the firm. Palantir. I've talked about this one, how it stayed strong, and this one has stayed strong. Clean Spark. 3 names that I've been talking about consistently that have been working. We'll see what happens to these. Mara, also top watch in kind of the crypto space, right? And so this one actually looking a little bit better for me in the morning. I like how it's pulled back. It could take a quick move to the upside. I'm going to look for a dip towards this support, which is 1941, and then look for it to come right back up towards 20. Mara on watch today, guys. It's actually going to be the first stock I'll probably be watching out the gates here. All right, it's 9:10, team. We still got 20 minutes, and I hope you guys appreciate what we're doing now. We're really building more of a watch list approach. Clean Spark has some good news today. I'll take a look at that, Shane. It's always good to have it. And I don't believe TE has bracket orders. Well, you can do certain bracket orders. I'll talk a little bit more about that today. You do like kind of this OCO kind of approach, right? So we'll talk a little bit more about different order types that you can be using with, of course, Trade the Pool. So there's some interesting ones out there. HPE on the radar for you. Hey, HPE has been mentioned earlier, so you're not the only one taking a look at it. All right, let's take a look here, and definitely Mara is going to be one that I will be watching to see if we can finally get that move up to the upside. Generally, stop losses don't work on runners or low float with all this algo stop loss rating going on these days, and you're not wrong. So what I like to do is a lot of times for, like, let's say penny stocks, right, that you're worried about a stop loss getting hit, or a stock in general. What I always think about is, where would my stop level be placed? And would a lot of people place their level at that level? So if there's a potential for me to take lower share size so that I can risk a little bit down below that stops level. So if the stop level normally would be placed at 7, I want to give myself to like maybe 780s and then have the stop down here. So it can't just get collected on the pullbacks for the market makers, right? So things like that. These are all things that we can talk about during the live show. Like always, smash the like, team. We're going to talk about some cool, interesting, and abilities to really kind of learn from the trading action that we do here live. That's what I want to do for you guys. It's all about paying it forward to help you guys get to success. Smash the like if you guys enjoy that. All right, guys, we got over, what do we got? We got over 70 of you guys tuning in right now. I need you guys to do me a favor, guys. We want some more traders coming in here. So if you guys have a Twitter account, an X account, whichever way you want to call it, do us a favor. Hit the share down below. Let everybody know that this is the place that you want to kind of be building your watch list in the morning, getting ready for your trading day, and actually leading you right into the trading day. There's not too many shows out there that are giving you information in the morning, giving you trade setups as the show starts, and then, of course, live trading with you guys right here. Gotta hit the like, man. Where else are you gonna get this? All right, guys, what else is going on in the market? Let's keep going. MLGO on watch. Ooh, MLGO. Getting hot a little bit. Let's take a look at that. That's actually making a move this morning already, guys. Has gone up there to $6. Just broke back up above 4s, and this one had made a big move recently. So big levels to watch in this one. Next level to stop is kind of the 649 level, but could look for pullbacks towards his 520s, and then looking for this to kind of push off of that, and right there. Push above 520s, holding that 520s. Now I'd look for holds of 530 here. We'll see if MLGO really gets going. Not a bad one here to maybe look at a trade even before the bell rings here. MLGO, do we take a trade right now? Take a shot? It doesn't look too bad here. I don't mind it. I'd be looking for a little bit kind of like that cup and handle, rounding bottoms, trying to fill here towards, like, let's say, could see it getting towards the 575 and then doing kind of that cup. Of course, this is just me taking a kind of more further down approach, right? We'll see what happens. That's kind of the levels that I would see. A little push up towards this level, giving it that nice U look, then looking for pullbacks into this spot for the cup and handle pattern that we've been seeing consistently in smaller cap names. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there. Was eyeing MLGO. It's a perfect example. It's not a bad one to watch. CMTL moving well on earnings. Shane, you're killing it today, man. loving the action and you're bringing in different names, and keep doing that, because the truth is I can only look at so much of the market. You guys bring in the names that you guys are watching and we'll talk a little bit about it. And I could also take a look to see if there's any catalyst on this one, right? CMTL looks like Comtex are trading higher after the company announced a new $222 million credit facility. So this is helping them. News comes out and look at that nice little pop, a nice little shake to the downside. So some bulls probably shake out of this trade. Now trying to hold the trend. It did break right above that trend line. So nice little move above the 250s, really starting to push. Now $3 into play. 275 makes sense for me on pullbacks. Maybe a scalp towards 3 and watching this go towards like maybe like 325. Doesn't look too bad there. We'll see what happens on this one. All right, ASNS was one of the ones that was moving fast this morning, starting to reject that 250 area. We'll look to see if it starts to move back to the upside. MBIO that was up towards above $1. We talked about the 119 being an area and maybe potentially a short on MBIO. We'll see what happens today. Can this one get past that 119, or will it fail and get back below the $1? All right, guys, smash it up out there. I'm having another great day. I pulled my fund from Schwab. Yeah, I can't blame you, my friend. Yeah, what's going on in that whole Schwab situation of traders not being able to trade? That would get me mad any day. There's no way that I would be able to be with companies that just don't let me trade, man. I need access to my money. Schwab, what happened there, man? But yeah, I saw a lot of traders struggling with that bullseye. Smash the like. AMD is not so strong this morning. I agree. ARM is one that's really been pushing, and this is actually looking really well. This is continuing the climb. AMD just doesn't get the love right now. But I will tell you guys that a recovery of 160 gets me interested in AMD. If it does not recover 160, I won't even look at it, because that's the level that so many traders got long on. And I think just yesterday, they might have gotten washed out. So the same way that Tesla did this, team, and smash the like for information like this. So you see how Tesla did right here, this fake out to the downside just before it ripped up. On Friday, it looked really weak. It was coming down, and all of a sudden they rip it higher. Why does this happen? Well, for me, I always like to think about some of the psychology in trading, right? So this could have happened because, let's say, the institutions want to buy this, right? They want to buy Tesla, right? They're like, yep, this is looking good. We like the pattern. We think that the fundamentals make sense for the stock to turn fundamentals in the next 6 months. And they trust in Elon. Elon, bad mention out there, of course, of what happened with Apple's AI and things like that. All of a sudden, they start taking a down hit. And then what happens is they just completely sweep it back. They could have even been shorting on Friday. Even, let's say, hypothetically, right? Let's say 500,000 shares short on Tesla. As it starts going down, they're like, all right, let's start stacking up some buy orders here. Let's go back long, and let's go long 2 million shares. So forget that short. Let's go long 2 million shares here off the 180, recover that, and just ramp it higher through that, right? Keep the buys going, keep the algos on that buy going, and then we'll look for pullbacks to add on this name. That's the same way that I'm looking to trade it now. So that's what I would be looking on AMD also. Can they do the similar move? Can they shake them? And then they bake them to the upside, man. We'll see what happens. The shake and bake here in AMD. So watch out, guys. A move back above that 160, and it could be green light here in AMD, even though it hasn't really moved, right? I will say that, and I will give you guys that. Back through this line and 160, I'll be watching. We'll see what happens, team. Especially through that 159, starting to make that move. We'll see if it can make it. All right, guys, let's take a look what else is out there. A lot of retail is something that I'd tell you guys to kind of keep an eye out, because that's going to be on my radar today. So Dollar General, eBay, names like that, Dollar Tree, Carvana shows up there. Ulta Beauty is definitely on the radar here. I might take a swing trade on Ulta. I think this really could start coming back here and working its way back. It's been off this weekly support now for like 2 or 3 weeks. A move back above 400, and this could really get moving. I would take a very small trade on a trade like this that could move strong, and let's say $10, $20, 20 points. I don't need 100 shares if it's going to go 20 points. All right, coin is often algo trading 25 basis points on the bid and ask. We'll see what happens there. Updates causing wonky updates. Hey, yeah, Schwab, get things right, man. TSM, Cross, HPE, all good names to keep an eye out for. Guys, it's 9:20 here. We got about less than 10 minutes here for the bell. Let's keep it going. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some other action in the market. Let's go to the sectors in the industry. I always love doing this when we get a chance. Let's take a look at the daily charts. Let's go towards that. Let's see here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so that we can take a look at it here. Let me just pull this to the right here. Okay, so consumer cyclicals, right? We can see how the volume is slowly starting to come back into the cyclical after a long period of no action. Right here is when they started to load. So this is an area that we could be watching to see if it starts to make a move. What are some areas here that we could be watching? Well, we want to be kind of continuing to watch what's going on in gambling, what's going on in the auto truck dealerships. So Carvana really shows up here. That's one thing that I'll be watching. Apparel stores, right? Retail, XRT, TJX getting strong, Ross getting strong, Burlington getting strong, Abercrombie and Fitch doesn't want to stop going, right? Gap was recently a really strong name that is holding what? The sideways action, not going back into the gap below it, but actually holding sideways here. All things that kind of keep an eye out for us. Apparel manufacturing. So this is an area that could start getting a nice little lift. Lodging getting a nice little lift lately. Marriott with a nice little move. Hilton with a nice little move. We'll see what happens on these. Airbnb. I've been looking to see if this is going to fill the gap. If lodging is going to do good, I saw leisure do pretty decent yesterday. Maybe that starts to fill the gap here in Airbnb. Back up there towards 150 and 155. I'd keep this one on the radar at least. I always like looking for shadow fills. They have a tendency of just working, man. And it's a play that I always keep in mind. All right, that's industrial, that's cyclicals, right? Let's go to the industrials. This has been a little bit of a shake both ways, right? You can take a look at the XLI and how this is trying to prop back towards the upside. Big down move in here has been Deere. Deere just got wrecked and it just doesn't look like it's going to come back. I think that's what I need to be watching to see if it starts to make its way. If Deere can start turning things around, maybe these can turn. GE is another one, right, that has stayed strong, just put a strong day yesterday. What's going to happen with GE? Is it just going to continue going to the upside, or will we get a break to the downside? I've actually made a good money on GE to the short side, so I'm going to continue to watch this to see if we get back above towards the 170. It could easily just break out back to the upside through this trend line here, and then starting to go back to 170. 155, big level to watch if it breaks down on the downside. All right, let's keep going. Tip of the day from my man, Reese Trades. I like it. Give us a tip of the day, man. Wait for the easy trade. Take it with size. One good trade. One good trade. One good trade. That's all you need, right? You don't need 1,000. You don't need infinite amount of opportunities. You need to distinguish what's high quality. Get after it. Focus on execution, because the truth is that's what distinguishes between the good and the bad, right? If I give a strategy to two traders, one can execute the strategy, one cannot. I highly doubt that the one that cannot execute that strategy is going to be the one in the green, simply put. All right, let's keep going, team. What other ones can you get after? If you pass the challenge and trade live, do you get ECN rebates for adding liquidity? No, you will not, Bullseye. But reach out, of course, if you have specific questions like that. You can get more information, of course, from our customer service team. Of course, I'm doing this live and trading, so I can't give you all the answers, but I'll definitely catch it when I can. All right, airlines, another one to keep watch. I've been watching to see what happens in this situation because American Airlines gave a warning, but DIL has not wanted to break down at all. And if anything, it's propping yesterday to maybe do a little bit of a recovery. We'll see what happens to the airlines here. Let's get out of the industrial. Defensive got a little bit of a push yesterday, back to the upside. What's going to happen, guys? Are we going to break down in growth trades? Are we going to continue in kind of getting a nice little move in Colgate, Palmolive, Procter Gamble, names like that? That's something to kind of keep a watch. It's nothing that really excites me there in the staples, but something that I'm keeping an eye open for. It's 9:25. Let's keep it going, guys. Yesterday, I talked about would financials bounce here, and look how that bounced. It was a really nice bounce. It was a negative morning, a pre-market, now starting to turn things back around. So I'd be keeping the banks on watch. Bank of America, JPM, Morgan Stanley. These all look like they can make the next step up here, especially after a nice little turnaround move yesterday. We're always going to keep watch on sectors and industries because it can really help you catch a nice move. And so what I looked at here is I can see that volume came in back yesterday. So can it come back into Friday's price point? Back into this level, I'd be kind of keeping an eye open for. Back into the 96.50s, 95.50s, and then a next move towards 100 on the radar for me there on Morgan Stanley. All right, let's see what else is out there. Short TRNR. Get after it, Shane. See what you can do, man. What else is out there? One high quality trade. Be a sniper, not a machine gun. Hey, you got to get what you can, man. If it's just one shot, you're done for the day. I got no problem with that either. Because the truth is you got to find what works for you guys. LGVN showing up on the down scanner, and man, there you go. It was just up there towards $4, and now it's back down to $2. We'll look to see if this gets moving, but this stock usually has the tendency of not continuing day 2, day 3, day 4 moves. So big pullbacks and could keep breaking down. AVPT was one that we were watching this earlier, and MLGO, we were saying, hey, could this get going again? Could this get a move there to 575s? And you can see it's already pulling back here, 521s, and starting to drop fast. MLGO, can it make another move? We'll find out today towards the open. All right, easy trade is when your must-haves appear. Hey, well, take those trades if you guys see them today. Let me know. I won't be mad. The easy trade. All right, tech thoughts. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look. Justin Timberlake arrested? No way. The Timberlake. JT, man. What's happening to JT? Basic materials stock here. We're looking at metals and minerals. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at basic materials and metals and minerals. So basic materials, this is the overall index here. You can see how there's a lot of volume coming in. And then I'll take a look here at what else is making a move. So we're talking minerals, metals and minerals. You can see how it's been on a big pullback. That's what would concern me. Yes, could you catch the turn here? Yeah, you could catch the turn right back up, like kind of a V bottom, and then start working your way back higher. So we'll see what happens right now. Nothing that really excites me on that, but doesn't this look similar, guys? You know, here's the metals and minerals. It doesn't look exactly the same, but it's on the pullback. And I think that that's one thing that I'd be kind of keeping an eye out. What is the top names in this space doing? BHP, very similar pullback, right? Lin on a pullback. This actually looking like it's trying to fill some of the gap, and it did fill the gap. It could come right back down there. So metals and minerals, definitely one that I'll keep a watch. Vale on the down move. I need to see this turn if I want to go ahead and long tech. Right now, for me, this is still looking like it's on the downside. That's just me, though. All right, let's keep going, team. We'll see what else is out there. AMD pushing down already. And like I talked about, to me, I'm not playing it to the upside unless it gets above 160. Because it could do that fake to the downside and then right back up. But we have to wait and see if the inverse head and shoulder kind of appears and then gets back up there. So that's going to be maybe a wipeout down into this area and then a move right back up. But when it comes back, I don't want it to slowly come back. I want it to be a rampant move back up. We'll see what happens. Back below 155 and AMD longs are going to get crushed. So that's another thing that you can be looking at for the short side outlook on AMD. All right, let's see what else is being mentioned out there. There's so much to talk about. There's so much to do, guys. Good morning, future day trader, billionaire. It's good to see you in the chat. It's always good to see you guys. And I've been seeing more and more of you guys. So definitely smash the like. Let's get more traders in here. How you can do that is just hitting that like, guys. It's 9:30. It's time to get after it, team. Let's see what we can come up today. You know what it is. Get after it, traders. What can you do today? We'll find out. Like always, I'm ready to get after it. Back into the live trading action things. Mara, first watch from me. First watch, guys. There's the 945 move. I actually like this move here, so I'm looking to try to get some right now, right off the start here on Mara. Let's see if I can able to get it here. All right, here's that 950 move. I'm going to go ahead and try to get a little bit there. I already got 200 shares there, guys. So let's get after it, team. Let's see what we can do. 200 shares there, long already, guys. Long 200, 952. And XRT not looking too bad on the swing trade side of things. Don't want this go through the 941 right now, so I'm trying to hold in. It can tap it here, and then I'd buy some more, but looking to kind of hold off the 1930s right now. All right, here's that attempt to break down, and then I'm going to look to add here. All right, I like that little pullback. I'm already adding a little bit here, 200 more, guys. Have 400 shares on Mara. All right, let's zoom in a little bit here. Getting that down move here just to start. Here's where I'm going to look for that quick little sweep right back up here. All right, guys, risking about $100 on this trade, $98. That's a move back down below the 27. All right, 950s holding in here, back through the 955. I might add 200 more and I'd have 600 shares. I got to hold tight, though, if I do that. Seeing this hold the 1940s right now. I need to see this to get scooped right back up, guys. Taking a quick trade here, right off the start here, team. We'll see if this gets right back up there. It's still kind of balancing out here. Could be that kind of red to green. That's what I'm looking for. It needs to come back up fast, though. All right, back above the 1940s. I can just go ahead and set my stop here. Risking about $100 on this trade. Pulling back a little bit further than I expected it here on this 1930s. So just really kind of keeping an eye on here just in case I get the wash. There's that wash attempt here. Now it starts to come back here. I'm setting the stop at 1925s here. Looking for this to start working its way back, but I know my out. My out is right below it here at the 1 or 2 cents. I'm going to give myself towards the 22. I'm going to give myself a little bit more, 118 on the risk here. Just so it doesn't kind of give me that kind of little stop out on the bottom there. If it comes to my level, hey, let it hit it. Gave myself the shot here and a little bit of room. Let's see if it starts to come back here. I'm only 400 shares deep. Here's that stop, pretty close, might trigger me out. It's holding in a little bit there. Let's go ahead and let me make sure I get some of my other scanners up here for you guys on trade ideas. On the bottom, you'll see the opening range. You'll see explosive winners, and you'll also see the unusual volume here. So CMTL, the big move right now, definitely seeing that big move there. All right, guys, just got stopped out there. It was just the bottom out action there, guys. So this could come right back up. I'm keeping a close eye on it. I just got stopped out on the bottom there on Mara. First trade is a loss here. Just going to keep battling, guys. Down about 120 on that one. It did go down a little bit further than my 118, 120 on the out. let's just go ahead and keep battling. Clean spark with that downside move. Maybe we'll look to see if 18 holds on pullbacks. We'll see what happens on that one. Mara definitely giving me a quick little stop out. I'll look for a move back through 20 a little bit later in the day. Affirm is one that I'm keeping a close eye on. It's holding in right now on the pullback. We'll look to see if it starts to make a move back to the upside. This is definitely one of my top watch. Palantir holding in the 26, 25s. This is just continuing to push. Not one that I'm going to jump on it now because I just feel like I'm reaching, but just to kind of mention there, CMTL, one that went up there towards 390s, now pulling back here. We'll look to see if it dips back towards the 325s. It's the level that I'd like off 312s. And I'm going to take some trades today, team. Let's see what happens here, guys. CMTL would hold the 350 here. Reli showing up here. RELI. Was this like kind of a dollar type of move? Up one, down one, up two, down two, up three, holding that 60 spot. Looking pretty good here. Let's see if this can really get going. Back above the 70 spot here, going towards the $1. There's 75 now, 76, 78. Look to see if this gets moving towards the $1 spot. Doesn't look too bad. Big little pre-market flag of 46 cents here from the breakout. That might mean 111 on the really if he got all the flag. We'll see what happens there. Mara starting to come back. We'll look to see if it starts actually ramping back. I don't mind making a trade on this one a little bit later today. Chegg still going up after that pre-market kind of move here for 20% higher, but this could come right back down. We'll see what happens on Chegg. Not one that I'm really thinking about. ELF showing up. That's actually doing well. That should be decent for my XRT swing account, right? So I'm gonna actually add to my swing here in just a second here. I got 75 12s. It's at 75 80s. It could take 76 today. So I'm just looking for pullbacks to add. Right now, I'm gonna wait because this is a swing trade. I don't want to ruin my average, which is down to 75 12s. But if it goes down to like 75 40s, 75 30s, I will be adding. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat. What are you guys taking a look at? Let's keep going, team. All right, Omega is currently the easy trade. That's what you like out there? All right, we'll get into it, man. Don't trust that MBIO is done. No position. You don't trade 1 billion shares day one to be heard on day two. Definitely limp home after lunch. Hey, we'll see what happens. MBIO is one that I kind of am looking for the 119 rejection. So we'll look to see what happens there. Back down below the $1 is when I start to watch that one. AMD downside action right now. We'll look to see if it scoops back up to the upside. I'm definitely still keeping an eye on this. I talked about it, how this could make that right shoulder and then I'll move really quickly back to the upside. We'll see what happens there on AMD. All right, looking around, let's take a look at some other ones. MBIO, Toast showing up there. Toast is actually not a bad stock. I kind of like this long term. So nice little move there in Toast. Sometimes moves with PayPal and Square. So we'll see what happens on that. Square not looking too bad, but Toast. Good little push there. Now pulling back here. Maybe 24, 2380 seems to make sense for Toast on the pullback. Yeah, 2380s, 2370s. I don't mind it here. Have to go into this spot here for the pullback, then a move back up above 2470. Dell, looking like it wants to get that 147.50, staying strong right now. Micron, nice move out the gates here, guys. Let's take a look at the sectors and the industries. Right out the gates, I can tell that consumer cyclical is strong, industrials bouncing back, defensive strong for day two. Financial services, we just talked about how this turned around fast. Look at JPM, guys. Nice little opening move there. Another one on the radar, Morgan Stanley. Look at that. Nice little push to the upside there. Bank of America with a nice little push. So it looks like we're seeing a nice little move in the XLF, which is the financial ETF. Good shakedown yesterday. Was looking for that reversal. Man, that was a nice one. Big push. What's up out there, Wisdom? Making that money, coffee in hand. Hey, shout out to you. Pinky's up, my friend. Pinky's up. Let's get after it. All right, CMTL, definitely one that I watch. There's Mara, guys, coming back here, 1940s. I'm gonna still go after it, team. I still like this Mara trade. I'm just looking at it, trying to get this to really start getting the boost. All right, guys, this is now back above the 1940s, back to the VWAP. I still like this daily setup. That's my biggest thing. The daily setup could be holding this and then starting to make a move back through 20s. So the upside is still there for me in Mara. Just got to make this attempt to come down here and then hold it and come back. So just kind of hold this to 1933s, come back through the 1950s. Always pinkies up. Look at Hendrix trying to join the show here. What's up, Hendrix? I think we need a little trade the pool hat going. That might be what we need, man. Need to get my swag up. All right, here's the 43s here, 44s here, guys. So on the pullback here, I'm going to go ahead and get a starter. All right, starter on there. Starter on long there, 1942s. Really want to try to hold here to a tight stop here. Get this to really start getting back above the 1950s. All right, kind of like this pullback here. Just needs to hold the 1930s on pullbacks. Back below that, I'll go get out. All right, just added that right back in there, guys. Now I got 600 1941s. Want to hold off the 1928 level. All right, let's see if this can really start getting back above the 1940s. Important spot there. If it could take it and go to the 1950s, we're going to look good, but let's see what happens. Reacted a little bit early, I would say, just thinking back. Maybe should have waited to get that move back above the VWAP first, but let's see if this can really start making a move here. All right, looking around also to take a look at some of my other stocks that are kind of making moves out there, right? Clean Spark is one to kind of keep an eye out that I'm watching. We'll see if that gets back up there. Palantir, that's holding in. Affirm, how's that doing? There's the move on Affirm. Now I'm going to go get interested on Affirm here. I do want to get a good amount of this one here. Let's go with 100 shares and look for a pullback to add another 100. But I think this one could really kind of make that move. So I want to reach for this one, starter on right here, and add towards back down towards the VWAP, which is that 3090. We'll see what happens there. And Affirm, big push out the gates. I kind of really like this one. Mara kind of hanging in there. Let's see if I can get a nice little green on Mara, and then I can take bigger swing on Affirm. I just need to kind of knock in this trade first. There's 1940s now looking pretty decent here on Mara. Let's go ahead. Let me add on pullbacks here to the 1940s. There's 1950s. That's actually looking pretty good there, guys. All right, Affirm. Let's see if I can get a little bit more on that pullback and put 3090s out. Affirm. 3090 add. 200. Let's go. All right, I'll be adding some Affirm if I can get it there. Mara, big push up there, guys. 3056, not doing too bad. Up about 80, now 100. Let's go, guys. Let's go. All right, guys, going to look to sell 300 of it as it breaks towards the resistance in the trend line here. So the trend line is towards the 1970s. So right above the 1970s or at 1970s, I will take some off there just to pay myself. All right, getting after it, traders. What do you guys got out there? 3 trades on. Let's see if we can get it. Get some green on the tape, man. MBIO, big push, rejecting that 119 area. This is so vital for me. Now it's above that 119. I wouldn't want it to break 130. I just want it to start crumbling now. That's just the way that I look at it. I'm going to leave this one alone for right now, but I will keep this one on watch, especially below 1. I want to keep this one on the radar. Affirm, no pullback just yet. Mara, 1963s, 1964s. Let's go, guys. Let's take a look here and get ready for the sell. I'm going to get ready to sell some out here. All right, 64s. I'm just looking for the pop above the 60s. Maybe I'm reaching a little bit, but I'm going to wait here for that pop above the 60s. Could do a VWAP bounce. So pull back towards the VWAP and then another bounce. We'll see what happens. Just getting the kind of the strategy together, this scenario. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Trade the pool. Check it out, team. You guys got to get your own little swag hat. Ooh. Ooh. Let's go. Swag out. Swag out, guys. Swag out. Let's go. What can we get today, guys? Smash it up, guys. What are you guys seeing out there in the market? I mean, I'm seeing cyclicals leading the market, industrials, defensive. Actually, nothing on the downside. Even technology's up. It's a green day, baby. It's green all around on the tape. Green all around on the tape. All right, looking for this takeout of the 1960s here. Can we get it, guys? Of course, I started the day with a red trade, but trying to bounce back here, and that's what it's all about, team. You can't worry too much about one trade. Just got to keep it taken, right? It's a collection of trades that makes your account, not just one. All right, Affirm with that pullback there, and just got some fills there now, so I just need to focus on Affirm, not Mara. I still got the stops there on Mara, but I'm getting a little pullback there on Mara. Got ads on pullbacks. We'll see if we do get fill there, but now focusing on Affirm here on this pullback. Have 30.99 here, so not looking too bad here. Definitely needs to hold the low of the day, which is 30.60. Back above 31, I will add on Affirm. I want 200 back above 31. So I have a stop there to add above the 31s. I do have an out if I need to. Back through the low of the day, which is about $100. I want to keep risking about $100 on these trades to be consistent, guys. Mara, holding in that 1950s here, looking pretty decent, guys. I wanted to hold in, maybe a VWAP test like I drew here, but not looking for it to get back down towards the 1920s for sure. All right, we'll see if this can continue to move here. MLGO, beautiful short on MLGO. Get after it. Boogie Woogie in the house, and what a trade there. Nice short there, MLGO, back down to the 396. So really nice trade there. It could come back to the VWAP now, but for right now, this looks like an all-day fader at the moment. There's Mara, nice little down move and scoops right back to the upside. So that's actually looking pretty decent there. We'll see if we can get that to continue to move here and rip up through the 1960s, going to the 1970s. Canceling my ad right now, just looking for this to get through the 1960s and start to push through the 1970s. Let's see if Mara really wants to get going here. Clean Spark, also one that I'll keep on watch. If this could push with it, that's actually a good sign here. Mara 1960s. I'm looking for that 1970s. There's that VWAP approach now, right? Now I wanted to hold VWAP moving forward and break out above the 1965s. There's the 1960s. Let's see if we can get through the 1970s. There's the 70s here, guys. Not looking too bad at all. If we could really stay above the 1970s, making our way towards the $20 spot is really where I'm looking at. Big pullback off that 1970s. Wanted to take some profit there. Was a little slow on the profits. I'm always going to be transparent with you guys. Should have been taking some right there at the 70s. Let's see if we can get it again. Didn't have the order ready. All right, I'll look to see if Affirm gets right back up through the 31. Got to look around, team. Let's see what else I can find. Affirm. Apple on downside move there on Apple, guys. I just want to mention that downside move on Apple. Nvidia is staying strong right now. All right, watching Palantir, Affirm, and Mara. Those are the top ones that I'm watching right now. Mara coming right back down. Still not really doing the complete breakout there, guys. So that's a little bit of sign of concern. Just want to see this hold the 5-minute chart and then get back up through the 1960s. Bouncing right off of where I got long here, guys. All right, Affirm filling me on the up move now, back up. We'll see if it actually holds there, but now I got to keep a close eye on Affirm here. We'll see what happens. Mara is pulling back also there. Affirm now holding in there, 31, trying to push there, recovered there pretty well. Still risking about $100 on this trade. We'll see if this can really start to push back above the 31s. Take out the 3130s, and then we'll start looking decent there on Affirm. Here's Mara trying to hold in this 1950s. I'm going to go ahead and add on Mara in a second here. Above the 1965s, I want to actually add to this and let this kind of try to do the breakout. It's already happening here. Let's go ahead. Let's try to do a little bit of a quick little setup here. 200 on the sell. So I want to add and then hold break even on the rest. Pull back to 1955. I'm going to hit the add and then break even on the rest here. So I want to step up to the plate here. All right, got that add. All right, just got the add there, guys. Now I'm up about 70. Just want this to get back up to the 1960s. If that could happen, then we could get a nice little push. Risking about $74 now, looking for this to push right back up through it. If I could get that push through and go into the 1975s, I'm going to be able to take off half of this and then make a good amount. So let's see if I can get it there. Through the 70s into the 75. All right, I know where I want to get towards. Let's see if we can get it there. Affirm's an interesting one too. There's a hard downside move trying to stop out some traders here on Mara. So just be careful out there, traders. Did do a little bit of a wick down move. Now I wanted to hold this and then start getting that up approach here. Affirm hanging in there. Needed to get back above the 31s here. How's that AMD? Kind of hanging out, not doing too much there, guys. Q's pulling back now. It's kind of a red day right now, but it's weird because this is all green. It's weird to see all the sectors green from the open, yet the market pulling back. So Apple weighing hard on the Q's right now. That's what I would see. Google also kind of getting a hard hit downside. Amazon. So there is some downside there. Microsoft pulling back. Nvidia is kind of hanging in there on the time being. All right, guys, let's see if Mara really goes for me here. It's definitely a trade that I have a nice setup, a really good approach. Now the question is, will I get into the green? Like always, there's no guarantee anyway. All you can do is set yourself up. Let's see if I get to the green now. Affirmed washing there, guys. It's we'll see if it's able to hold that recent down move. Mara hanging in there, but not really getting back above. Kind of faking out above the 1950s there. All right, this is that attempt to break down here. It needs to hold the down wick that it just did, that 1939 wick. Start to make its way back up. So definitely don't want it to break this hard line here. I'll just draw it a little bit harder so you guys can see it. That 1938's level right there. Let's see if it holds that. Starts to make the up move. MBIO starting to cross that. So I need to kind of keep an eye out on that $1 break there. There's the $1. MBIO from that 119 straight down. So I actually like this approach. I'd like for it to come back towards 114, 112s. That's where I can short off of the 119 level. So a move back into the 115s. I don't mind shorting on MBIO. I'm setting an alert there for it. Affirm stopping me out, guys. Down move and Affirm there, and it could start turning around. Affirm loves to test the down action there. It was looking pretty decent there, so definitely another hit there on Affirm. Just got to keep battling, team. It could come back too also. Just didn't want to hold through the low of the day. So 0 for 2 right now. Just got to keep battling, team. That's what it's all about. Mara hanging in there. We'll see if it starts to recover. The SPY, how's the SPY doing here? It's hanging in there. Qs are starting to come back. So I'm going to keep an eye out on AMD. It's now down to 155 though. That's a tough move for those AMD traders. 1955 now showing up here on Mara. Can it really go now? Have the setup there for it. It just doesn't want to go, guys. So I'm a little bit concerned on this one since it's not really taking off because the move's there. The ability's there for it to go. Only question is, can it take it back through that 1950s? The Q's struggling could be affecting this a little bit, but it's a lot of kind of the action there that we should already see that push. Still not seeing it. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat. What's going on out there, traders? Smoked it green today. Green, last trade, CMTL. Get after it, man. Mara is a short, you guys. Well, hey, you guys at least, man, at least have the correct English on it. But hey, if you want to get short on it, go for it, my friend. Go for it. It's all about what you want to get after, man. Don't worry about it. You can go against my positions. I won't be mad at you. Beauty out of the gates for a short on TRNR. Hey, get after it. One more strike. Laugh out loud. You strike one, strike two, strike three, baby. You're out. You know how it goes. It's all about patience, right? We'll see what happens, guys. Big spike there. It's still not going, guys. So Mara just not wanting to lift off through that is a little bit concerning there. 1950s. Will this really take off, guys? It's definitely building it up, but it just doesn't want to go here. 5 minutes is going to be closing up in about 3 minutes here, guys. So this candle is important. In the next 2 minutes here, I'm going to be looking for that upside to really take off. If not, I'll probably just cut the trade and look to come back in as it goes back up. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what else is out there and making a nice move on the day. Let's go to the Qs in a second here and take a look at the top movers of the day. Rally still showing up on the scanners, so that's definitely one that's been moving. MBIO had made an earlier move. That's going to be one that I'll be watching a little bit later today. It's back to the 110 area. I kind of like that for a short. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at MBIO. MBIO, if I can get towards the 112s, I don't mind it there for a short. MBIO, we'll see if it gets back towards the 112s and rejects that. That's where I would be trying to get the short on, and it'd be going down towards the 90 cents there. But let's see what happens on that one. Just keeping an eye on it. 110s. Let's see what happens here, guys. Attempt to break out and fail is what I want to see. So like a push here, boom, then fails. Little breakthrough with a failing action. That's what I'm looking at. If I do take a short on this, I got to be a little bit tighter here. Go at it at like 500 shares. It's not. It's rejecting that VWAP. I want it to pop back through. Don't want to jump on it too quickly, because if I do, that's one way that it goes back to 118 and I just get stopped off of that. There's the 103 kind of struggling already. 106, still trying to recover MBIO. A lot of alerts there on that down action for a firm. Quick question: if I hit my target on the super buying power, but the max trade profit is over 30%, what happens next? Just keep trading, man. I would focus on that, Shane, especially if you're trading at this moment, right? Focusing on that is probably more important. But reach out to us after. We can explain you the exacts on how the platform works and how the evals work. That's what I would be kind of looking into. So you could also reach out to our customer service team. Down below in the description, you should find an email. If you don't find it there, let me know. If not, you can go through, of course, our Trade the Pool hub. There's rejections of that VWAP on MBIO. It could just start leaking right back down. And that's why I like this MBIO, because that's the truth, is that it could just leak. I want to see one more attempt to come back up, and then I'd get short on it. We'll see if we're able to get that. Mara 1955s, not looking too bad there. MPIO, man, a little part of me is like trying to jump in on this, but can't do it just yet. CMTL, what's up out there? Just chat with the team, right? Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. Get after it, Shane. All right, Mara, not looking too bad here. It's 1958s. Can we take the 1960s now, guys? It just is struggling there, man. It just doesn't want to go. There's definitely some sizing at 110 on that MBIO. Now they're starting to see that 110 as the resistance. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about the noise. All right, Mara just not going, guys, and that's a little bit of a sign of concern for me. It just doesn't want to go, and when it doesn't want to go, it's a little bit tough to stay in the trade here, especially as you get so many wicks to the upside. Tightening down the stop there for Mara. See if this can get moving, but right now, I don't know. It's feeling like it's a mixed ground there right now. 1958s, 1956, little wall, but not big at all. 65 is where the wall is now on Mara. So 65 break is where I could see that kind of continuation if it could get through him. The 65 right there. Just not getting through, man. Failing. When it doesn't get through there, we got to be careful. These are 5-minute pullbacks that could break down the 5-minute support of 1940. So that's where it gets difficult, because it could just break down that, and then not much we can do there. All right, 5-minute candle here. Next 2 minutes are going to be important. Going to look for the rip back to the upside. If I do get a 1965, I might add for the breakout. 1955s, 1956. Got about 800 shares here, guys. So if it can really move, we could get a nice gain here. Just needs to break out above this trend line. So there's a trend line here on the 15-minute. If we can get this to green and then get a nice 1975, that can be that good look. SMCI giving me an alert here, guys. So SMCI, of course, we were talking about this morning, and maybe we could see that one kind of start to make the move, and it did. It held pretty well on that 900 hold of VWAP, now up there to 1917s. Doesn't look too bad. Super microcomputers getting strong today. Maybe AMD wakes up, but definitely off the 900 level, SMCI looks interesting. $1950s on Mara. We're looking pretty decent here. Let's go for the breakout. I want to go for the shot here, guys, to make our money back. Just got to be smart. Wall still there at the 65, still struggling. AMD now down. MBIO trying to make the move back up there. It went up there towards the 106 and rejected it. Now could break down below the $1 spot. But right now, I'm just kind of keeping an eye on MBIO. I think it could pop back up and then the fail. So that's what I'm watching for. CMTL still showing up. Rally showing up there on the scanners. PTIX, MDIA, AEMD. Those are names that are definitely making a nice move. You guys can always take a look here at the opening range. This is going to tell you some stocks that are up here in volume thrust, stocks that are really kind of making that volume push. All right, stocks are trying here. Mara's trying. It fails every time it gets up there, guys. It's almost like there's a big short that's just filling in every time it gets up there to the 1960s. There's definitely some pressure that it can't get through right now. Here's that spike on MBIO. Five minutes here. 5 minutes starting to hold the VWAP. Want to see it hold the VWAP on this candle. We're getting to that recovery of the VWAP, but not starting to hold it. That's 1947. Up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3. Shouldn't break this 42.40 spot. Should be a nice little takeoff here in this area if we can get it. All right, guys, going to go ahead and set for the breakout. The 65 is where I see a lot of that resistance there that keeps struggling there. So that's going to be the area that I'll add another 200 shares and go for the real swing through the 65, guys. So let's see if we can get it there. I'm going to actually put it up 1 cent to the 66. So it blows through that guy that's hanging out on the offer there in Mara. You can see the rejections there in the 1960 again. The algos are playing with this one, guys. You got to be careful on it. MBIO tried to make that up move there. Let's see if it gets that next up move here. Or does it fail? It went to 110 again and then kind of trying to prop back above. Pull back there on Mara. We'll see if it's able to hold here. MBIO, I'm trying to be able to, if I could get Mara into the green and at least take like one green trade, I can take another one on the day trade side. I just don't want to open up big sizing in MBIO and then all of a sudden take a hit in Mara and MBIO. Then I'll start going a little bit too high in my risk daily, right? That's what it's about, guys. It's still taking the risk to return as the biggest focus here. Mara testing down here. Still could break down, guys. So like always, we'll keep an eye on it closely. It's trying to break that VWAP there. So now it's starting to fill some on the downside there. Big trade here on Mara that's going to really determine kind of my day. Affirm, still pulling back there, not looking their best there. How's Carvana? That's actually holding pretty well there, man. I know that was a big watch for you guys out there. So Carvana actually doing pretty decent there, guys. Look at that. Nice little hold of VWAP right now. It's holding the VWAP multiple times. Let's see if it breaks out above the 111 spot and starts to push. Daily chart, not looking too bad either. Could push back above the 111, start going back towards the high on Wednesday, 115. We'll see if it actually gets going there. Tesla, what's up with Tesla today on the pullback? Pullback action on Tesla. Inside candle, I'd like to see it hold like 182 and then get back up there. So it doesn't look too bad right now on Tesla. Went to like 183.20s earlier. All right, XRT is one that I'm keeping a close eye on. Of course, you guys know I have the swing trade on this one. Let's see if this can start making a move here. Ulta, we'll see. Best Buy. Those are struggling right now. Hims up there to 25, guys. Look at this, continuing to push there. Hims and hers. Man, this stock has been strong. 25 is also that all-time high. Like, so now you're approaching that all-time high. You could break out above this and then turn back around. We'll see. It's definitely an important level there for Hims. MBIO trying to make that move up, but still really hasn't broken out. It's just hanging out by the VWAP. A lot of traders are watching that one, I'm sure. What's up out there, traders? It's 10:10. Let's smash the like, guys. Our markets close tomorrow. Yes, they are, guys. Tomorrow we get a random day off in the middle of the week. Of course, it's Juneteenth, but it's just middle of the week. I'll take it, man. I'll take it, guys. You guys enjoy it. Spend some time with the family. Spend some time reviewing your stats, planning how you're going to go after these evals. I hope you guys get the success you're looking for. But like always, it's all about that processed approach and understanding that. MBIO now kind of rejecting that $1 move multiple times here, guys. A little part of me is excited to maybe come after MBIO on the downside here. So part of me is looking at it, guys. It's an opportunity here, even though I still haven't gotten Mara into the green. I do have a normal strike 3 rule, so that's what I'm trying to abide by, guys. If I do strike 3, I'm usually done for the day. I take my swings, and that's what life's about. It's taking your swings, and as you can tell, I'm a good baseball player too, man. Pitch that strike, man. Give me that fastball. I'll get after it. Here's that 109 there. We'll look to see if that can start to make that little push there on MBIO. I'm looking for a 112 rejection there, but hey, it's all what you guys are looking for too, man. Going back to Mara here to see if we can finally get the spike in Mara. All right, guys, 1960 shows up there, guys, and I'm going to go ahead and add. See if we can get this to start moving. Held VWAP again. Up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3. Holding in on the 40s, looking good. Now's my time to take my shot, guys. All right, 56, 58 showing up there. MBIO showing up there. Just added a little bit more there now. MBIO giving me that approach look there. 114s now on MBIO. All right, let's see if this can really get going here, guys. See if we can get a trade up there towards the 1985s, 1990s would be that kind of like nice little profit there. Taking the shot. Here's Mara, 1960s. Let's go. Let's see if it can really go. The wall's 65, guys. Let me show you the wall. You guys need to learn about this, right, for our newer traders out there. So this is what I mean by there's a wall there. There is that 65 right there, guys. That's where it's struggling to get through. We're going to see if it blows through them there. Now it just blows through. Now I want to see bidding action start really showing up, some high volumes and showing up right here on the left-hand side. And you can see the walls that it's trying to get through. There's the 75s. There's the 70 now getting up there. Now we're up 230s, guys. What we're going to do is keep going. I'm looking for this to get into the 80s, and then I can take it all off, guys. All right, now we're getting a nice little move here. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and take off half of this in a second here. All right, there's a nice little push. Boom, it just took off half there, guys. Half off there. Now I can leave the remainder on here. Why am I taking off the half? Because I just want to get myself back into kind of a manageable situation. So I just took a nice little $120 profit there. Could take some more, but now just let this kind of work here and get me the reward that I'm looking for. There's the 70, 78s, 80s starting to show up there. If it pops into the 80s, I'm going to take it all out here, guys. All right, have one out there at the 83s right now, just looking for a quick pop fill. Looking for the 83s to hold. Looking for the 80 pop towards the 1990s, and then I'm going to go ahead and take some out in the 80s. Orders already out there on the 80s. It's not moving up, not moving towards it, so I'm moving it to the 1990s for a second. As I get back into the 80s, I'm going to look to take that profit. All right, not moving too much there. It's struggling on that 1970s. I'm still looking for the 80s on the profit side. All right, 85s out there to take some profits. Let's see if we can get a little spike to the 85s. I think I can get that spike and then take some profits. Could I keep riding this higher? Yeah, but to tell you the truth, when I'm in kind of like potential red day, like max red day on the day, a lot of that is trying to bounce back, right? Because survival first, like I mentioned, then I want a little profits, and then I want to thrive. Right now, I'm focusing on, especially on a day like today where I'm struggling a little bit, survive, Mitch, survive. All right, it's struggling here, guys. It's struggling here. I'm moving up towards the 1990s just to kind of get off on the tape a little bit. Let's see if we can get the push towards the 1980s. MBIO to 120. So doesn't look like the turnaround is happening just yet on that MBIO. So that might be a good outlook, right? Can't get them all. Let's see what happens. Struggling here. Let's see if we can finally pop towards the 80s here. 77 on the offer. There's 78. Now we might get that pop to the 80s. Still kind of slowing down here, guys. That just shows me the algo action out there on this name. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move up the stop loss into the green here, guys. So just got to make sure if it pulls back that I'm taking some profits, right? Where is that level that I'm going to be happy with, that no matter what, I'll take a gain on this? So pullbacks to 1960s actually makes sense for it to hold and then come up higher. So I'm setting it right now at 1955. But remember, whenever you start to move up your stop loss, it's giving the approach to maybe get hit on the downside. So now I have my outlook both ways is going to be a green trade. Really would like to see that just one pop into the 80s, and then I can take it all off. Struggling here in the 70s, man. No buyers stepping up there. All right, 1970s, 1972, not looking too bad. Let's see. Let me take a look at Clean Spark right here. That's looking for the 19 break there. So it's looking like we're seeing it all around. That's actually a good outlook to see it showing up in different parts of the market right now on Mara. All right, let's see if I can get this into the 1980s. Let's go. Here's that approach at pullback off the 64s, 60 level. So that's another thing that I'm keeping in mind. It could do that pullback. Big volume expansion on the break when we got back above. Remember the 65s where that wall went through. So I'm also looking for that wall to hold on pullbacks. That could be where the kind of the bigger orders are lining up. There's that approach, 1980s right above it here. Let's see if we can get it to go through there. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. Where's the resistance? The next level of resistance on the 5. The next level of resistance is a push here towards a prior support of 1985s. And that's exactly where I can take some profits, guys. So move like that, I don't mind taking some profits and then just getting out of this trade, making a nice gain on it. See if we can get it here. It's still kind of chopping around the 70s. Just need one little spike here. There you go, 74s. 75s on the offer. 82s are out, guys. I'll take some at 82 if I can get it. $75 showing up here. 76 on the offer. Looking for that pop to the 80s and then just trying to take the money and run. Could this get to 20 today? Yeah, I could see it getting to 20. I think if I had a little bit more cushion, I'd probably swing a little bit more than that 20. Looking for the $20, the whole push towards the 20. But right now, fighting the day back. I'm just trying to fight the day back, right? There's that 80 push there. Boom, trying to get some out here. All right, guys, just took it all out there, guys. 1980s. What did I get on that final one? 1979, guys. So it jumped on the bid there, but not a bad trade at all. Was able to bounce back on Mara here, guys. So, hey, that's how it is sometimes, guys. Can this keep going? Yeah, I think it could keep going, but I'm not going to battle that either. Look at the day, guys. Took the stop out, got back in here when it started to turn back around. Added here, added on the break. And I think that that's a good level for me looking back, right? I always like to look back and understand, hey, did I take the good approach? Well, for that trend line break here, was looking good there. 1960s added right here, right? That's where the ad came in. Now looking at that to pop, selling, I like it. Selling on the pops, that's what I want to be looking at. And overall, getting back to what? You guys will see it here. Boom, back into the green, just slightly. But one trade green got me back to the green when I lost on 3 trades. This is as good as it gets to teach you guys processed approach. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Now I can go scalping for that 20 push, but hey, I'm not going to be picky here, guys. This is also a swing trade alert for me. I put it out this morning. I think this is a really nice setup here for it to continue pushing. So shout out to you guys that are taking a look at that. Definitely take a look at our socials in the morning. We're going to be putting out more and more information that's part of my playbook, part of my sunrise watch list, so that you guys can go ahead and know what's happening in the market. Like always, Money Mitch has it for you guys. All right, let's go back to that MBIO. I'm willing to take a shot on that one now, guys. So let's go back to it. It's back above the 116, went to that 120, now starting to struggle here. So let's go ahead. I'm willing to take a little bit of a shot here. Starter on at 116, 118s. Let's see. Let me go towards the 1 minute here. Show you guys this as I actually go back into this. So this is looking for the cup and handle pattern right now, right? It just even went there and kind of made the cup. Now is might try to make the handle and then failing. So for me, I can do 2 ways of approaching this. I can try to short right here, or I can look for an approach for it to come back to this trend line and failing it. So back towards 122s and then the big fail to come down. So that's the way I like it right here. I'm going to look for that kind of approach for a move back into this line here, and then the fail approach here. So the fail towards what? The cup and handle pattern. So we'll see what happens here. If it can do that kind of failed cup and handle pattern and then get right back down. So I like to kind of give you guys the drawing aspects of what I'm looking at so that you guys can understand both ways. Because back above the 126, this is a bullish break. There's always 2 sides to every market, guys. AEMD, names like that, making moves. Yeah, 76 cents. Doesn't look too bad there. All right, guys, not a bad trade there on Mara to bounce back. What's going on with you guys? I'm going to catch up with you guys now. Smash the like. MLGO, what's up out there? Wisdom, appreciate your generosity and of my mind, a legitimate man who cares for his communities. And to tell you the truth, I do care about you guys, man. I try to focus. I try to learn from you guys also. So don't get wrong that you guys can't teach me anything. Give me tips. Give me what you guys are learning from. We're all in this together, whether you think it or not. We're all in this pool. That's why it's trade the pool, man. We're all in this pool. We're trying to pull out success. Let's get after it, team. All right, what else you guys got out there? Carvana over 111 if the volume's increasing. We were just looking at that setup there for the 111 break, right? How is that Carvana doing? Look at that, 110. Holding in there really well. I kind of like it. We'll see what happens if it can keep that break, but good move there in Carvana today. All of our profits are only 20% of our good trades. Hey, we'll see what happens. Nice read on that, Mara. Glad you went for it. Hey, appreciate the mention there, X. Mara was a risky trade though. Why? Why was it a risky trade? It was a setup, right? I can show you the setup. That's what's important. It's okay for you to make a mention. Just want to understand the setup here, right? So this is kind of like a nice little red to green move. Classic red to green. DAL getting hit hard right now, guys. An alert for me. Airlines taking a little bit of a hit to the downside. How's American doing here? It's going to be important to take a look at. That's taking a hit too. Love is taking a hit. So DAL on the short side looks interesting for me. I just need it to come back to the smallest little amount, right? So 49.50s, I can take a short off of this kind of approach, 49.85s. If it can get into this spot, don't mind it for a short approach. And that's on airlines, but industrials are going higher. That's where I got to be a little careful. What's happening here? Is this a fake out to the upside and then it starts to crack? I'd look at XLI for that to give me a little bit of insight of what's going on in the industry and the sector. Talked about Deere. Will Deere get hot? That's the way I can see XLI starting to come back. If Deere can stay hot, because it's been such a down hit type of stock. You can see how it's trying to pivot and turn around right now. But can it hold on to that? We'll find out. CMTL, let's see what happens there. CMTL up there towards 390s. Really big move today. Not bad at all. Holding in on the pullback right now. Kind of that trend line approach also. You see the trend line approach here. It's trying to hold the pullback. I think it's important to hold that first drive. And so you see you crack down below it. You got back up here. I'd like to see it hold 375s now. This area for pullbacks, and then probably risking back towards the lower level, the 55. We'll see what happens there on CMTL. Comtech Telecommunication Corp. Doesn't look too bad off that 4. Like kind of the 377 approach, 378 approach, risking off the 355s for a move back up towards 420. That's 40 cents on the upside. Getting in for about a 20-cent risk. So more a 2-to-1 look than a 3-to-1 look. That's why I'm not jumping in it right now. All right, guys. Looking around to see what other trades are being mentioned in the chat. I'll definitely try to catch some up there. Moderna just got contracts. Moderna. Mara always risky. Done with it after today. Hey. It is risky. It's a mover, a fast mover, right? Let's be honest. Here's that attempted move, guys, right? We drew this up here, was looking for the move on MBIO to see if it would start approaching that for the kind of the cup and handle pattern. Failing off the 120s is what I'm looking at. We'll see what happens there. It's trying, guys. It's trying to get back above that 119, which I think is so vital for the day, because if you look on the daily chart, you see right here, there's a lot of resistance up here, guys. So I think it's important to kind of keep an eye out on that level. It's going to need a lot of volume to continue the drive that it's doing. So that's one thing that I'm just keeping a very close eye on. There's kind of that cup. It's trying to do the handle. And if it fails the handle, that's where I really think I could see this break down. So just continuing to watch MBOT, guys. I'm going to go looking at some other stocks too that are making moves. Chewy, Toast. Don't get toasted out there, guys. COSM, 85-cent stock. Is this trying to get $1 today? Doesn't look too bad. Mara is like twerking. Apple is like the waltz. What What partnership is your style? Yeah, man. Find what's your style, dude. Clean Spark, man. Clean Spark was one that we were talking about yesterday. And boy, did I get this right on this one, man. This is one of those that I'll look back and probably struggle on mentally because I should have a swing trade on near 16 and holding off that 15. But now that it's recovered, held the pullback to 18 today, I wouldn't want to see 18 break at all. And I'd want this to start really kind of breaking through highs, going to 20. This is not a bad one at all. Mara back down towards the 1960 level, and it could regain some volume and then take that next level to the upside. I could risk here another 10 cents and maybe try to take another trade on Mara. But a lot of the times when I take that win back from a name, I don't want to just give up the gain that I just got back, right? So I'm going to keep my eyes off of it and looking around. Finger motion, getting a little bit of a lift up, and I'm seeing a little bit of a kind of a trend now. So this one's a telecommunication service company also. So that just tells me something that maybe you're seeing a couple of these make some interesting moves. Let's just say that. Finger is there. The XDO. I'm looking around to see some other ones if this is just a trend that we're seeing. Rally is an insurance company. It's holding the pullback. Another $1 type of name where it's going from 30 cents to $1. So we're seeing a lot of these penny stocks, real penny stocks, come back. I don't know about the COE one. I don't really trade this one, so I'll leave this one off to the side. BLDP, that's also another one that's been on the scanners for a little while now. It's not bad. Not bad move there. MBIO, what are you going to do? All right, it's trying to make that move, guys. It's 10:31, guys. I do want to go ahead and give you guys the opportunity to run the action here, guys. So definitely smash the like. Like always, hit the like. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Smash the like, guys. Let's go ahead and have a little fun, right? And so at certain parts in the show, I let you guys run it. And the only way to do that is to let you guys choose the ticker that I can go trade right now. Normally, I'm going to let you guys also pick the side, long, short. Right now, I'm just going to keep it simple. Throw up a ticker that you'd like to see traded right now. Money Mitch is going to step up to the plate. Let's go. All right, guys, you choose. We trade. Throw it up in the chat, guys. Smash it up, guys. Like always, bring the A game. We got the rest covered here. Let's see what happens on MBIO. Maybe that's the trade you guys want to see me trade. Or maybe it's back in Mara. Whichever trade, guys. Look at that 1960 pullback. There she goes. Now she'll probably get the $20. We'll see. I don't know, man. But that's definitely something that I'm watching on that one. Not a bad little move there on Mara. Might be already getting that move. All right, looking around in the chat, what do you guys want to see me trade? Smash it up. News on oil, XOM and Oxy up. Yeah, I saw oil getting a nice push this early morning. And that was a lot on kind of prices starting to jump into the 80s. So this is not a bad one to watch for swings. Valero giving me that turnaround. And so I've been waiting to do some swings on oil. So we'll continue to watch this, guys. But doesn't look too bad now that we're starting to get the push. So what I would look for me, since I didn't get the opening move in energy, a lot of times what I look for in energy are hourly pullbacks. So hourly charts for me on energy charts work 10 times better for me than a smaller time frame chart. So like this, it gets a nice move to 155, right? I'd look for pullbacks to 151 to risk right off of that 151. So 151.60s, risk off of 151 or maybe 150 for the continued upside. So XOM, very similar chart, right? Big breakout. I look for the move back to the levels that make sense for me. So 108.75, 108.50s would make the most sense for me on XOM. Hourly pullbacks. That's what I like on these. MLGO wants me to get short on it. It's a little too much now, man. That's a little bit far down at the $3 spot to get short now. But I hope you were able to nail that short. That's what I'll tell you, Yash. Meds and Tesla. Okay. Tesla or AMD. Okay, not bad ones, man. I told you boys, NBIO is not done. I'm expecting one more surge, probably 140s to 150s. Short rip for a nice fat short ride, horse and carriage style. I see you out there, man. I see you. No worries, man. And I wish you the best always, man, regardless of which way the trade goes, right? There's that 119, 120 rejection. We'll see if it gets back above right now. It's definitely battling. It's trying to make the move. And you can see here how you're trying to get back to this level. I'm looking to see if this fails and it comes right back down, back into this space, and you got your look, man, to that 140. So let's see what happens here. Tesla down there to 183.50s. Looking for that 182 pullback. And a lot of that is like measured pullbacks, right? So on the daily, if we really wanted to, we could zoom in here and look for 50% retracement of the recent move. So a lot of times what I'll do is from the bottom to the move to the top, 50% retracement puts us back down towards 180, 182 being the 38.2% retracement. So 182 is the level that I can go long on. Right here, what could I do? I could short it off 184, but it'd be just a move towards 182. 182 is where I like to get maybe a long on, an expansion piece right here, and then some sideways consolidation to maybe get long on Tesla. Meds, short meds. Meds is where's it at? At $10 and $11. It's actually not a bad one to maybe take a look at. This one's definitely rocketing up a little bit, and we'll see what happens. Definitely has some resistance that it built at 1090s, is pulled back to the 10 spot. Could still take a move to 1090s, so got to keep the risk in mind. But this one's a fast mover and could move right back down into kind of the $9 spot, and then try to regain. We'll see what happens on that one. Toast. Still kind of climbing higher. NBIO, what are we going to do? 119 is kind of rejecting. 121 kind of rejecting there. We'll see what happens on this one. A lot of traders keeping an eye on it. We'll see if it actually makes the move or not. FDX earnings run on the 24th. Yeah, that's not a bad one to keep a watch on. Stocks love to run into earnings, and this has pulled back. You have a support to go off of. So I like that approach. Support for a swing looks good here off that 244. You know the levels here, right? So I want to be as close to here as possible if I'm longing, but I can't blame you if you're already getting after it on the 250 spot and trying to see this hold the low of the 246, start making its move into the 258. So it's a really nice play there. I don't mind the look. It's definitely a little early, I think, but the setup's there. So can't blame you on that one. Not a bad one there on FTX, Kevin. Keep an eye on that one. That's actually an interesting setup. Personally, my approach, I'd want to be as close to that 246 as possible, because if I'm close to 246, what can I do? Well, I can risk underneath it. I can risk here towards like down here into this 240 or this 242 spot. So that's the move for me. So on a day where it gets really scary, like it did on yesterday it was after Friday's washout. It opened at 245.54, something like that would have been a nice entry, because then you had this low to the left, 242.92, maybe 243 as your risk. Sometimes, a lot of times, the risk is going to be really tight on a swing trade early. And then when you get that real nice momentum, you can just hang on to the entry. Mara, $20. There it goes. Back up to the 25. So the 1960 pullback approach was not a bad approach. And Mara to the $20 today. Not a bad approach at all for that. So definitely shout out to you guys for sticking around. Me going for it. Still made a nice trade. So I think that deserves a nice little trumpet approach. Sometimes you got to play it, guys. Play that trumpet. Play your own trumpet like always, man. Be a fan of yourself and enjoy it, guys, because That's how trading is, man. It was hard today to come after that Mara. And could I have maybe held? Yes. Earlier on those trades earlier, I would have been probably looking for that $20. I did take some hits, some pressure feel today. I'm always going to tell you guys when I feel that pressure. Felt that pressure a little bit today on the strike 3. And look at that now, 2007, guys. So I was up, I had 1,000 shares at this at one point, right? At 1940s, 1950s. So not a bad approach there. It could have been a nice $500 day. That's fine. It's not about thinking about the what could haves, but more along was the approach okay? Was the way to get back in? And was it good to get back to green? Yes, green is good, guys. Green is good. So now I could look at what? I could look at leaders to laggard. So leaders to laggard approach is looking at what is leading and what is not, right? So maybe there's one that's on the trend on the VWAP right now. Like let's take a look at Riot. Riot's starting to make the move up. Hive starting to make the move up. Bitfarms starting to make the move up. Remember, we talked about this in the pre-market. We were looking at these as top plays, miners. And if you take a look, guys, I'm going to be putting out information every single day on our Twitter to try to give you guys the information to stay on top. So follow Trade the Pool, guys. Of course, on our Twitter, if you're not following it already, probably making a big mistake like always, guys. So definitely take a look into it, guys. Look at this morning's approach. Look at this morning's post. And I'll give you guys, of course, the post so I can throw it up here in the chat. Take a look at this, guys. These are the things that I'm going to be trying to give you guys so that you guys can understand what type of plays to look at. Like always, you choose the trade. You choose the entry. The only thing I can give you is what I see in the market. This morning, these were the top plays. We talked about them right at the open. Palantir, crypto miners in play. Retail sector in play, crypto miners, CleanSpark, Mara, Riot, looking for CleanSpark to make that little breakout after breaking above the 18, throwback line to that line. Mara and CleanSpark also on the radar. Not bad trades here to look for. And as you guys can see, big push up there. So not a bad move at all. We'll look to see if these continue. Palantir, one of the top swing trades. Like always, team, keep up with Trade the Pool so that you guys can get these early in the morning. I'm going to be putting these out, guys. So definitely look at that. 811. Stay here, guys. I got you guys. I'll be giving you guys the value. If you're not following Trade the Pool already, definitely give us a follow there. All right, let's keep going, guys. That's what it's all about. And I'm going to continue giving you guys multiple approaches in the morning. It's not just that one approach. I'll also be trying to give you guys different outlooks on kind of stocks that are moving, why they're moving. So you can see it here. Strategy. Yesterday, Affirm, Apple, GameStop. I'll always be giving you guys some plays that I'm looking after. All right, guys, let's go back to the action. Let's go to Palantir. Let's take a look at that action. 25.39s, 25.50s. This is a swing trade that we've been looking at for a while now. And look at the hot trade there. Now to resistance. Resistance is touching, so I think we could maybe get a potential pullback here. But we'll see if this just continues to lift off. CMTL now back to that 70 spot and holding in here. We talked about it could recover, test that 70s and risk off of that 355 here. So I don't mind this one actually, guys, for an up style play here. We could take an approach off of this level and it'd be the 55 level, looking for the 4 run again. But I don't mind it. It's just the 55 has to be your risk. So you have to understand you're risking about 15 cents here. So understanding that is going to be vital here. So I'm going to go in it here with 200 shares. Boom, just grab 200 shares there. Really kind of want to see this 360 kind of hold and just get that into a little pop back towards the 385, 390s. But this was a setup that I like here because it did pull back into this spot here. Now has pushed back. Now I'm going to look for the approach back to like 420s. That's going to really be the spot where I could take some good profits and then look to see if it can get to the 430s, which is the top resistance right now. CMTL, MBIO, let's take a look at that one. There's the push for you guys. There's the attempted push to the 140. So in the chat, you might have gotten it, my friend. I wish you the best. There you go, Boogie Woogie. Get it. Hit those tunes, Boogie. Well, one day we got to have ourselves a little bit of some music day where we're going to bring in some songs and music from the chat. We'll take some monetization down. I'll lose some ad money. Don't worry. I'm looking out for you guys. We'll always have a good time here. CMTL, let's go back to that one. I'm still seeing that one kind of hang in here off the 69s. I have 71 here. Don't mind an approach where I'm adding towards 360s and holding off 355. All right, need to see the level 2 on this thing. So I know I moved it, so let me bring it back here. CMTL, where's the wall? 72 and 73 and 74. You see this right here? So this is what's stopping it right now, but there's not bad bidding action here. So I don't mind the trade at all right now. Let's take a look here. See if this can really start making a move. Pullbacks at 360s. You see here how those are the ads? That's where I would be adding to, right? So I can't blame the ads kind of hiding out there for pullbacks. Now it's going to be all about, can we just rip here through the 380s? It could just go off of that 370s. So I might just add a little bit more. I'm trying to wait for pullbacks, but if it just wants to go, I don't mind. It can just kind of give a nice little lift off here. Volume came in right before it on this declining candle, so we need to recover that high. So that high is important. That's that 382. That's where I think you get like kind of like an expansion move where it can kind of push towards the 4. Right where that volume came in, I'm looking for it to recover. There's the 79 approach here. It doesn't look too bad there. There's the approach, and you see how it stops right there? That's where the volume was filling and struggling. Here's the 390s, 395s, looking good in CMTL as we start to push to the 4 here, guys. So now I can look to try to sell some at the 420s. So I could look to sell that out at 420 here. Ha, 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 pun intended. Let's see if we get it there. 420s on the offer side. That's what I'm going to look for. I'll sell some out if we start to rip through that and look for the high of day, that 438s to come into play right now. Big thing here is to look for the 390s pullback to hold. Some people add off of this pullback. I don't like to because it ruins my great buy, which was down here at 371. I add right here. Next thing you know, I'm at 380s above VWAP. If I can always get below VWAP on longs and it starts to break out like this, I feel comfortable for the algos to add on pullbacks and keep the ride high, keep it riding higher, right? You want me to come on and play some boogie? Of course I want you to come on and play some boogie, man. We need to get down. I'm going to do a little dance. A little dancing action here. All right, guys, let's see what else is going on in the market here. MBIO up there to the 124s, 125s. Got up there, but couldn't fail later in the day. So I'm going to watch that one a little later today. Mara up there to 20, pulled back to the 1980s here. Got all the way up to 2010s. I'm looking at a pullback to 1970s or 1960s later if I wanted to kind of continue playing on that Mara move. Here's CMTL for the break above 4 for the real breakout here. Let's see if we can get it. If it doesn't go here, I'll probably just take the profit here, guys. I'm just looking for it to just kind of push on up and get that breakout towards the 420s, 430s. Moving up my limit order towards that 430 as we start to push through the 420s. I'll try to take some off there. All right, guys, smash the like, guys. What do you guys think about that? The you choose trade, not doing too bad there, guys. Getting after it, team. What do you think about Chipotle split? Chipotle split is definitely one to watch, man. Chipotle is one that a lot of investors have wanted to take part in. They just can't because it's so expensive and it's hard to come after. So I'd keep a watch on CMG. I'd wait for the breakdown of after the stock split. But right now, it's just on a breakout, and that's a lot in the stock split. It's hard to come after this name, though. But I do think that investors, like true long-term investors, have been waiting and waiting to get in Chipotle. This thing has been an absolute monster. Like, this is one that you look back and you're like, yeah, this is one that if I buy early enough, I would have never had to sell. And so this is more of that investing type of name. Another one that I consider in this space is like kind of like Booking. Booking has been another one that like I just would want to hold. It's an expensive name. This should do a split. Booking should do a split. All right, guys, let's go back to that CMTL. This is the spot where it could take off here or not here, guys. So it's on the pullback of the 9 EMA. This is where I look for a lot of times the momentum to hold and get rebought. So 390s gets bought here, takes out 4, goes for the move. So with that being said, we can go ahead and if I wanted to, I can add right now and then just look for the breakout. Right. So since I already kind of took a really nice entry, I'm not going to get an ad here at 371, but I could. It's just at that point, I need to hold break even on the rest. At this point, I can give myself the room to all the way down to 370s. All right, guys, I'm going to go elsewhere looking into the market. I'll let you guys know if this starts popping through 4 and then I can take some profits. But I want to look around. I want to go looking at an MBIO, guys. I'm thinking I'm going for a short now. All right, guys, I'm going to take the shot on this. I've been waiting to try to take a shot on this name here, and I think it's a nice little setup now to go after it. So I'm getting short on MBIO right there, guys. 500 shares. I'm coming after this name, guys. Big thing for me is understanding where my risk is going to be. It's actually going to be above the high of the day. So I'm risking $55 right now towards 129. And if this starts to break down towards like 1014 and goes to like 110, I can start adding on to it and take a bigger and bigger swing for this to come right back to the downside. This is also one of the great things of Trade the Pool, right? You guys didn't see me have to borrow shares here. I'm just coming after it. I got you, Kaizen. It's good to see you in the chat, man. I don't think I've seen you before, but it's always great to see new names, guys. Stick around, guys. We got a lot more for you. There's MBIO already kind of coming down a little bit here, guys. So it's actually looking like a pretty good entry for me. I don't mind adding to this. I just need to give it some time. First, let the first action start to happen. Then you'll see traders start to let go. That's what I need to see. Once I start seeing the traders let go, that's like this trend line breaking. Once this starts to really break, I can start looking for ads. So first move would be like to 105. I'll see if I start to get that move and then see the breakdown come in. CMTL trying to get that move, went to the 380s, went all the way up to the 410 and then turned right back around here, guys. So hey, CMTL, a lot of selling in that 410, $4 spot. CMTL back down to the 76 here, guys. Could stop me out here at the 70s. Don't want to risk some volume here, but if we can start to work our way back up here, guys, I might take a shot off this lower high here. This 373 would be the out. So it just needs to turn back around towards the 380s here. All right, it's just stopped me out, guys, just slightly below my break entry. And look how it's coming right back up, guys. So I might take another shot with this, but I didn't lose on this. I lost $7 in the kind of like a couple pennies there, but I'm still up on the name. I still want to come into this one. I don't mind going at it a little bit bigger this time for the long. Just needed to start turning back to the upside here, and then I can hold with a tight risk. Recollecting some volume here. Let's see if it can get back up there through the 4. This could start turning back around. I'll take a shot off of it. Doesn't look too bad there. They just got me there, guys. I was 1 penny off the low there. MBIO with a little push to the 120s. We'll see if that comes back. Clean spark pulling back there, guys. The CMTL kind of just hanging out. That 5 minute. Definitely testing back down there. Back through the 366, and this would break down. So that's another thing to keep in mind, right? All right, it's hanging on. Let's see. I'm going to look toward it to hit like 68s and then comes back up. All right, traders, how we doing out there? Q's with a nice retrace. It's trying to break support. It may do a 50% retracement on the upside that it had at the opening. Not a bad mention at all. We'll take a look at that action here. Here's that 360s approach here. Let's see if we can get the little where it ticks down on the bid and comes right back up on the offer. So you see here at 369, I'm going to look for like 368, 367, and then it comes right back up to 371. So there's 368, 371. That's kind of the look that I could go off of. Now I just have to hold off that low. All right, guys, taking the trade there. So trying to be a little bit slower there, a little slower, and then take my shot. All right, guys, so taking a shot here off the 65. 65s is a $40 risk here, so keeping a close eye on the price action, but trying to hold the 68s, that last low, and risking slightly below that last low. Back to the 380s, I can even add a little bit more and really go for a swing here to make some good money today. MBIO could stop me out a little bit later, but that's only going to be like a $40, $50 risk here. Let's see if some buyers come back up into the 70s and 80s and 90s. All right, guys, what's going on out there? Numbers made, time to play, a good day. Everyone thinks, hey, have a good one, Wisdom. Way to get after it. Shane, if you're doing the challenge, make sure to close out any large winning trade before it hits 30% of your goal. Not a bad approach, Shane. It could be something that you can learn off of. And if you're making that great of trades, man, hey, power to you, my friend. Power to you. You'll be able to get towards it. Keep getting after it, Shane. You did really great today. I will give you that insight. I catch moments in the chat when the guys are doing great. You're doing awesome, man. Hang in there. You got this, dude. All right, guys, it's hanging off of the 70s. I just want to see some buying come right back into this here. All right, here's that 368, turns back towards the upside, back to the green. Now I need to see it start to push back to the VWAP. Then I can hold off the low and then just keep this going. 370s, pulling back, now 372. Let's see if there's some buying can come up here and step it up to the 380s. Nothing yet, man. Indecision candle there on the 1 minute, so just got to be careful with that. You could get in a downside attempt here and then it comes back to the upside. I'm looking to see if we get a wick and then a recovery back. That downside approach there. Wick would be a 366 hit on the bid. 369. MBIO showing back up there, guys. We'll see if it actually makes the move back above the high of the day. Mara pulling back to the 1970s. Got to take a look at Tesla and AMD in a second here, and I'll take a look at the overall market here. All right, guys, it's 10:57. In a second, we're going to start to wrap up here, guys. So like always, smash the like. If you guys have been enjoying the trading action today, we're going to keep going after it. There's only one way, right? Is to keep building every single day, guys, right here on Trade the Pool. So smash the like, hit the subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Definitely check it out, team. We're going to be here every single morning, starting up at 8:30, doing some watch lists with you guys. So definitely check it out. LRHC. Stock that's ripping right now. It's a real estate stock that's really pushing strong. We'll see if it continues to get up on upholds, but big push there. MBIO up there towards the 123s. Still short on this one, holding right above it for a short action there. CMTL still hanging in this one, guys. Of course, it was a battle today. We took 2 outs, red trades, and then was able to bounce back on 1 trade. So let's see what else is out there, guys. Definitely smash the like. Not a bad trading day for me. and battling here in front of you guys. Swing trade still in the green there, guys, for XRT. I could add to that one, but it's just doing so well. I'm not going to mess with it. All right, guys, looking for this to get that up move, but CMTL not really doing it just yet, guys. We'll see if we actually get the push here and goes to the 380s, but that's how it goes, man. No worries about a chain. Maybe use it as a cushion, right? It's all about learning how to go best about it on the evals. If you made a 50% winner, just give yourself a pat on the back. Don't let it hurt your mentality, man. That's one thing that I'll tell you, because you're doing so great. That's an easy way that it gets ripped. There's that move to 360s. I'm out, team. I'm out on that one, CMTL. So, hey, down $34, but still have the ability to get back in that MBIO and end the day green. That's what it's all about here, showing you guys all the orders, showing you guys all the execution. I don't hide from you guys. I show you it all. So many traders out there are doing live streams right now, team, and they don't give you this type of recap where they really show you it all. All right, traders, you guys see the action there, guys. Big trade on Mara today. That's the best trade. Let's go to Mara and just take a peek at that action. And you guys can see the pullback to 1970s. It was a battle today in Mara. Took a hit there in Mara at first. Then I ended up taking a hit in Affirm. Affirm is trying to start working its way back, but really not coming back by any means right now. Then was able to make a nice little gain here on Mara. That was a $270 trade. We should be getting closer to the 300 spot, but didn't want to be so stingent on the reward. Taking a $50 hit there on CMTL, which was a smaller trade, but taking the shot, and actually took a $7 loss on it just before that, as I was trying to hold kind of break even. Got a little bit of wash, but giving myself the chance to get back, right? That's what it's all about, team. Taking a good shot here today. Even though if you look at it from the executions, I'm down $28 on the fees and only down $34 on the overall. So essentially $6 down on the day. That's perfectly fine for me. If I'm going to go up and down, there's going to be a time where I'm going to call the day, and that's it. It's done. That's what it is. We'll see what happens today. MBIO is going to be the last trade that I have on. I'll let that continue to work as long as it's in my favor. We'll see what happens on MBIO. If it starts to break down and starts to work back down here on Mustang Bio, we'll see what happens. Like always, guys, keep up with me right here. You guys can always watch me at MoneyMitch_TTP on Twitter. And like I mentioned earlier today, don't miss our Twitter conversations, guys. Every single morning, we're going to be giving you some gold on, of course, Trade the Pool. So if you guys don't follow us already, what are you guys waiting for on X? This morning's playbook doing really well, guys. Throwing it up here in the chat. Definitely smash it up. App trend. Learning from this live stream, Money Mitch. What do you think about SMR? You know what? I haven't seen you in the chat. I'm going to take a second here to go overtime to let you know, man, what I see out there, and definitely going to enjoy the Twins future day trade. That's where I go after this, guys. If you guys don't know, I work very hard to do trading, and then I go and spend time with my family. Nothing better than a great work balance. Find that balance for you guys out there and what can work. All right, guys, seeing MBIO start to break down a little bit here. So I do want to add to MBIO. Let's go ahead and add that as I do that right now, guys. Let me do 200 for the time being here, guys. I'm going to only do 200 shares add there. You guys see it. I'm at 117 now for MBIO. And you wanted to take a look at, so let me just show you guys that before I get out of here. There's MBIO. You guys see that position. And what was the stock again? Sorry about that. SMR. Let's take a quick look at SMR. SMR is a new scale power corporation. It's up there to $9. Daily chart has multiple attempts. This to me is what we call a rising ascending triangle, right? So if you did a line here, you see how it's ascending to that line. It needs to hold that Pullbacks below that are actually attempts to go long. And you can see there's been 2 or 3 attempts to break down. So at this point, I wouldn't want it to break that line. I wanted to approach this 971 and 1016 level. So it's not looking too bad. If you want to look up what the pattern is, this is an ascending triangle pattern. And the reason I know this, team, is because I'm still battling to get my CMT license. And if you guys don't know what the CMT designation is, look into a chartered market technician. I already have level 1 and just working on my level 2 and level 3, trying to get up there, guys. Like always, I'm going to keep battling with that. I'll show you guys technicals along the way. I hope you guys learn from my process. Winning or losing, you guys will see me have a great time on this stream, and I'm looking forward to having a great time with you guys. Smash the like, guys. That's going to do it for us today. Keep it going right here. Trade the Pool, the place you want to be, the community that's going to support you and keep pushing you towards that success. We'll see you guys back in the morning.